And there was these tense moments where folk were trying to figure out, how do you get the world's most deliberative body, how do you get the United States Senate, the 100 members, how do you get them to safety? Because people screaming chants of hate and death were circling around. If it wasn't for heroes outside distracting the mob, that we wouldn't have had a retreat. I was sitting up way in the back with another bald-headed man, I like a Mandela, named Mark Kelly, and he and I knew they had to move it off. Now, I said what the average age is, so some of the people I was worried about older than Tammy and I, and so I looked to Mark and I said, basically, Mark, we got to get the 6. We got to make sure we are the last ones off this floor. Incredible staffers went up to the presiding place. There's artifacts of history up there. The same gavel that's been used since the 1800s is there. The actual electors in the box. Staffers, American citizens grabbing these things that had to be preserved. And now they start shuttling everybody off. Kelly and I are watching the doors as we back. Everybody's getting off. I look up in the gallery and I see the fear in the eyes of the press. We get off the floor and Senator Baldwin, the first thing I see is an officer down on the ground. I'm like, I run over him, I go, you okay? And he looks at me with these almost startled eyes. He's like, I was hit. And that's when it got me. I'm like, you were hit? People are attacking police officers? Along our escape route, Baldwin knows this well, I saw 2 other officers, one hit in the face. I ran to him to see if he needed help. We finally get back to our room, this room, and it happened to be near my actual Senate office, so I talked the guards out. I talked the guards to letting me go up to my office. I go up to my office, I barricade myself in, I go to the TV and I turn it on. Now let me tell you something right now. If America has not broken your heart, you don't love her enough. There are heartbreaking things going on in our country that we should all say, what your background, your political persuasion, they're heartbreaking. And when I turned on that TV, the first image I saw broke my heart. It was the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Literally feet from where I sit, I saw a man with bravado, with swagger, waving the flag of hate, of insurrection, of betrayal. The Confederates, if you know the Civil War, tried to come and do a charge to take our capital. They were held off by the Union armies. But now I'm in my office watching that flag wave defiantly in our most sacred civic space. And it wasn't just that. I then see T-shirts with things like Camp Auschwitz, vicious anti-Semitic shirts. I know everybody's thinking about the policies and the issues. Yes, Social Security is on the ballot. Yes, Medicare is on the ballot. Yes, public education is on the ballot. Yes, the right to organize on the ballot. But these are fair areas of American debate. One Senate candidate can believe we should privatize Social Security. Thank God the other ones believes we should not. But what is not up for debate is democracy.
Yes.
What is not up for debate is our American traditions. What is not up for debate is the continuance of our country. That was a day that scars still remain on the heart of this nation. And I'm sorry. I love my Republican brothers and sisters. I love my independent brothers and sisters. I love my Democratic brothers and sisters. But there are folk I'm working hard to love who don't think that was a big deal in American history and are really planting seeds all around this country. There are Democrats, Republicans running, but there are others who are running who are willing to give into those authoritarian impulses, who are spreading misinformation, who are spreading lies. And so I want to tell you all today, this election, you got to tell folks it's about something more than just a normal election in America.
Yes.
That this is a time to say, do you live in America?
Right.
Or do you live for America?
Right.
Because I need some folk that say I live for America.
Yes.
I need some folk to stand up and say this election, I'm going to wake some people up to go vote for America.
Yes.
This is one of those elections where we're going to put somebody in office who will fight for Americans. We're going to get somebody elected that's going to stand up and say, I pledge allegiance
Yes.
to America.
Yes.
We're going to put somebody in office who swears an oath to defend and protect the Constitution of the United States. And if you can do that, then you will go down in history as a generation that didn't just luxuriate in the blessings of this democracy, but actually prove worthy of it. I end with this, and forgive me, my dad had a way about him. He was born poor in the South, and if he was here right now, he'd heckle me and say, don't tell those people from Wisconsin I was born poor.
That's okay.
Tell them the truth.
Yes.
I was born Poe. I couldn't afford the other two letters. I was just a Poe boy. My dad, every time he would tell stories about his childhood, it would get worse. I was afraid to go to North Carolina for years. I mean, the weather there, the hail started out when my dad started talking like golf balls. Eventually got to be football, then beach balls. Then the hail was the size of Cadillacs. I don't understand. My daddy told a story about his school. Started out as a school, then a one-room schoolhouse, and a lean-to on the side of a mountain. But my daddy tells a story that he was sitting in the back of his classroom. I know the story can't be true, but he said he was sitting in the back of the classroom, little boy, about this young man's age. And the teacher comes in and stands before the class proudly. She goes, okay, class, I want to teach you all about self-esteem. And she goes, anybody in this classroom thinks you're stupid, I want you to stand up right now. She waited. And none of the kids moved. They were sort of surprised at the question. And she goes, come on now, class. You think you're dumb? You think you're stupid? Stand up. And my father looked at her standing there, and nobody else was standing, so my father just stood up proudly. And the teacher goes, Mr. Booker Boy, what's wrong with you? You think you're dumb? You think you're stupid? And my father said, he just scratched his head and said, well, shucks, ma'am. I don't think I'm stupid, but I didn't want you to be the only one standing. I want to leave you with this. My daddy taught me one thing. Boy, you gotta stand up. You gotta stand up when they push you back. You gotta stand up when they try to talk down on you. Stand up.
Yes.
But the most important thing, you gotta stand up for other people.
Yes.
You gotta love your neighbors. Stand up for them.
Yes.
You gotta love other people. Stand up for them.
Yes.
And he said you gotta stand to make sure this nation doesn't stop. You gotta stand for America. And I want to say to y'all, my friends, will you stand for this country?
Yes.
Will you stand for democracy?
Yes.
Will you stand for our children?
Yes.
Will you stand for generations yet unborn?
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, will you stand there with Mandela